Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Disruptive Voices of the Pacific. Again, we are filming right here in Fiji and we are still continuing on with the topic of sex, dating and relationships. Now, these podcasts have been so popular. Again, thank you for your feedback, for your questions, just for people. I've heard of youth groups taking these episodes and showing them to their young people. Parents are saying thank you, it's helping them have the words and the ability to engage with their children. So I've just so appreciated your feedback. So today I have a guest that we've had on before. Welcome, Vani.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you back.
It's great to be back.
And it's been quite a while. I think you were on episode 45. So that was last time somewhere where you shared your story with us. And you've been engaging with me on Facebook because we've kind of been doing some dating myths or relationship lies is what I'd like to talk. So today we're going to do a whole episode on the lies that we believe in relationships, especially as us women. And again, those posts have been getting some good impact. But firstly, maybe just tell us, for those who haven't listened to episode 45, although I'd encourage you to go back, maybe just give us a brief overview of the relationship that you were in, and so we understand where these lies came from.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. My name is Vani Sharma. I am Samoan and Fiji Indian. So I got pregnant when I was 15 years old. And after that, this was in Samoa. After that, I was in a marriage for 5 years. It was very abusive, very toxic. And at the age of 21, I was a single mother with 4 children. And I came to the Lord shortly around that time. And that's where I started my journey of healing.
Yeah, wow. So it's been a big journey, and you're now back in Fiji and with your 4 children doing amazing. So not married again though, are you?
No, I'm very single.
Okay. Oh, is that an advertisement? No. You're happy single as well, hey?
I'm very happy.
But yeah, we're going to go back to that relationship you were in, quite toxic for many years. Now, you sent me some of the lies that you believe, which I think when I saw them, I know you're not the only one who has believed these, and I thought we need to do an episode on this. So we're just going to talk about them and why you believe. So number one, you mentioned to me, was that if you give him sex or have children, he will love you. So clearly you were in a relationship where you were trying to earn his love. Yes. So you didn't feel loved from him at all?
So firstly, I'll say I realized, and this will set somebody free, sex is not love. If you give him sex, if he's giving that to you, that's not love. So I had this situation, this relationship where I was actively doing things to earn someone's love, and that is not a sustainable or a healthy thing to do in any kind of relationship.
Yeah, no, never is it. Even though quite often, unfortunately, guys can say, if you love me, you will do it. So this is where some of the lies begin to lodge, isn't it? I've got to give him sex because otherwise that's how I show love. So you had 4 children to him. So after each child, did you feel like he loved you?
Yeah, so he was very abusive, and there were a lot of red flags even before we had kids. And I didn't know at the time that they were red flags. But now looking back, I do realize. And then after I had my first child, and he was still treating me in a very bad way, I thought to myself, okay, maybe if I have another child, maybe it'll make him actually care, actually want more than just me looking after his children and cooking his food and cleaning his house. But I have lived the life, and I can tell you I had the second child, the third child, the fourth child, and it didn't change his behavior. And what I learned from that is that you can't find love and affirmation from an external source. You can't look to someone, whether it's in a relationship or other, for that love. That's something that it's an internal issue. And I had the children, I cleaned the house, I cooked the food, but it didn't change.
At what point did you realize, this is not going to work? This man's not going to love me?
I think I'm sad to say, but honest, it was when I had the fourth child. And I said, man, this guy must be very, very hard case, or I've got this whole thing wrong. And I realized that, I could do anything and it wouldn't change the way that he saw me or valued me. And then I decided that was it.
And I think that a big part of why I do a lot of what I do teaching young girls, because there's one question every woman and girl is asking: am I loved? And if we haven't found it in Jesus, or maybe from family members, we're searching. And it sounds like your little heart at the age of 15 was searching for love.
Yes.
And wow, what a journey now for you to find healing, to find love.
Yeah.
But what a gift your 4 children are as well.
Yes,
Beautiful children. Okay, so that's a big lie that we believe, that if we give him sex or more children, or if we give him anything, he will. We should never have to earn somebody's love.
Yeah.
Never have to earn. Okay, this next one again, I find interesting. You said he's controlling, abusive, and jealous, so therefore he must love me. Okay, explain that.
Yes. So I think for context, I will share that I grew up in a very abusive childhood where I had a father who was very controlling, very abusive, and would manipulate things so that he would seem the person in the good light. So that was how love was represented to me. That was my only understanding of what love was supposed to look like. So it was very distorted. So then as a teenager, I thought that behavior was normal. That was my normal. And because I thought it was normal, then I accepted that type of behavior. And I said, okay, this man is also controlling. So it must mean that he's trying to protect me from something. He's very abusive. Oh, maybe it's something I did. Maybe I deserved it. And then I realized later on that it was my toxic perception of what love was supposed to be like that actually made me think that was what it was. Yeah. But it wasn't.
Yeah. So you'd just been programmed to think this is absolutely normal. And again, where did you begin to unpack that from?
Yeah. So the true moment that I started putting my whole life in perspective was the day I realized that my value wasn't conditional on somebody else's approval. And it was when I realized that Jesus had died for me. If somebody died for me, that means that anything less than that, I wasn't deserving of it. I don't deserve to be treated that way. So if I had a man who was Jesus that would die for me, this realization, that's when I realized that. And also, for context, I grew up Hindu. So I didn't know anything about this Jesus that the Christians were talking about. And I went on my own journey and found him. Somehow I had found him. I know actually he had found me. And that's when things changed.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. That's why our love in Jesus is the best love, as I tell young girls. Okay, so that's lie number 2. He controls me, he's jealous and abusive, so therefore he loves me. That is a big lie. And I love to go through these red flags with teen girls, because quite often they think, oh, he just wants me to himself and is controlling who I hang around, and they think it's romantic. It's not romantic, is it?
No, it's manipulation. It's toxic masculinity.
Manipulation, absolutely. The more someone loves you, the more they want to release you and champion you, and they're not living in fear. Okay, this next one. I'm sure he will treat me better after I marry him. I mean, it sounds so crazy, but again, where did this lie? So you became pregnant at 15. What age did you marry him?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Oof. And so your little 16-year-old brain's hoping things would get better.
Yes. And at that age, your brain, like doctors have done studies, your brain is not at a place where it's fully developed. So that's why I would say wait till you're older to get into a committed relationship. But back to your question. So he was very abusive even before I had married him, even before our daughter was born. So in my 16-year-old, not very developed mind at the time, I thought, okay, once there's some sort of commitment, then maybe he will treat me better. Maybe this is just, because he's young. Or maybe this is just... So I was making up all these excuses of a him issue. That wasn't a me issue. That was his issue that he needed to deal with. And I was making excuses for it. And, well, I married him, and it didn't change. It actually got worse. Because it meant that, in a way, I was trapped. That he could do whatever he wanted to do, and I was locked down with him. So something that I have shared to other young women who have shared about their relationships with me, I tell them generally, if a man is abusive to you before there's any type of commitment, or there's any red flags before the commitment, it'll get worse once you're married. So it's better to just let that go, that relationship go.
Yeah, no, that's so important. And, you're just saying, well, I was 16, but I've spoken to women in their 20s, 30s, 40s who the guy was cheating on them before they were married, hoping marriage would fix it. If you go back and listen to Lola's episode, Etta, for some reason we have this thing that marriage is going to magically turn him into an amazing prince. But no, that's a big lie, girls, a big lie. And the same vice versa, if the guy's hoping the girl will change, because we have some bad behaviours as well, which we will talk about. Okay, so marriage isn't going to change things. The last lie you sent to me, and I'm sure there's many, many more, and we've had some great discussions on Facebook. No one won't want to marry me after I leave him. So you're stuck in this abusive relationship thinking, man, if I leave him, no one else is ever going to want to marry me because I'm damaged goods.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's a really prevalent lie that so many women need. What age did you leave him?
21.
Oh, 20, yes. So you're still so young and got your whole life, and at that age you're still thinking, this is it, I'm over.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as damaged goods now?
Now I don't, but at the time I was 21, I did.
Yeah, but you still got the courage to leave. And again, you shared more of that. What made you think that you were damaged goods? How do you describe damaged goods?
Well, so with young women, I would say generally from the women that I've spoken to, and even my own experience, once you have, had sex with someone and you've had children with them, there's this lie that you believe that no one will want you because you're used, and then you just feel like your value has decreased. And when you see yourself that way, it allows you to stay in toxic cycles. And that's how it was for me. I think also for me, the second part of that was that he told me that nobody would want me. And I believed him. And he said, if I leave you, where else will you go? You won't have anywhere to live. You won't have, anyone to look after the children. Nobody will want you. And I thought at the age of 21 that my life was over. Like, that's it. I've made my bed, now might as well lie in it.
But look at you now.
Look at me now.
You've moved back to Fiji with your 4 children, renting a house, working full time, flourishing. Yeah, well done. And thank you to God. I mean, you've found Jesus, and you're still on a healing journey, which, Any last final thoughts around this?
Yeah, I would share that as I went over those 4 questions, and there are many more that maybe someone could be going through as well. But as I went over those 4 lies that we believe, really these are value-based issues. You will believe these if you truly don't understand who you are and who you were created to be, and the value and the worth and the price on your life. And that there's so much more open to you, so many more opportunities, things that you can do. And if we can break free from these toxic cycles, these lies, the sky really is the limit.
And you might be watching this episode and think, oh my gosh, I'm believing that lie. I didn't realize it was a lie. Please reach out to us. There is help. There is people who will walk through these because, it does require a bit of unpacking, dismantling the lies that have been told to us by the partners or the husbands or the boyfriends, and finding out the truth of who we are. Another episode we did just not too long ago was with Daniel Wood. No, it wasn't. It was with Richie and Terry on how should a young woman expect to be treated by a guy. And it was great to hear these good men talking about how men should be treating us again, because maybe you haven't ever been taught, maybe you haven't grown up in a family, and so we're producing these podcast episodes to help equip you to have better relationships so we can break the cycle of abuse and pornography and infidelity and all of those things that are just so prevalent across Fiji and Australia. So Vani, thank you. You're an inspiration. You've just popped out of work during your lunch hour, but you always get to work early.
Yes.
So you're not skipping out on anything. But thank you for again coming and just sharing, and may we see many people set free from what you've shared today.
Amen. Thank you so much.